Hello and welcome, this is Nandini Hirani and you are watching It's Tomorrow News. Typhoon Faxai heading toward Tokyo explosively intensifies. Typhoon Faxai has rapidly intensified south of Japan's Honshu Island just one day before arriving in Tokyo, potentially as a Category 4 equivalent typhoon. Faxai, which is a Category 4 equivalent typhoon right now, explosively intensified in the Western Pacific Ocean from 65 to 130 miles per hour on Saturday. Faxai is located more than 400 miles south of Tokyo. Further intensification is likely into midday Sunday local time. Atmospheric conditions and warm ocean temperatures are favorable for further intensification into early Sunday, but unfavorable upper level winds and land interaction could slow intensification as Faxai reaches southeastern Japan. It is unclear how strong Faxai could get before these slightly less favorable conditions set in early Sunday. Faxai is expected to be on the verge of Category 3 status as it arrives in Tokyo. The Japanese Meteorological Agency has issued a storm advisory and waves advisory for southeastern Japan, including Tokyo. Typhoon Faxai will curl around an area of high pressure early in the week and is expected to turn northeastward at about the same latitude as Tokyo by late Sunday local time. Damaging wind gusts are likely across southeastern Honshu, and destructive waves are possible on Japan's southeastern and eastern shores. In addition, 3 to 6 inches of rain is likely in southeastern Honshu, with isolated amounts up to a foot possible. Flooding is possible in Tokyo metropolitan area. It is unlikely to affect Kyushu, which witnessed heavy floods this year, but may make landfall in capital Tokyo itself. Tokyo is likely to be battered by severe gales, but the typhoon is currently expected to be at its worst over the Boso Peninsula. Tokyo is protected from the Pacific by this peninsula, but if the eye of Faxai drifts into Tokyo Bay, the city may face serious risk. Storm surge risk is put up as to 1 meter above normal tide along the Boso Peninsula and adjacent parts of Honshu. Rainfall of 200 to 400 millimeters may cause flooding and on higher grounds, landslides. 3 people killed as powerful typhoon slams into South Korea. At least 3 people have been killed and 10 others injured after a powerful typhoon slammed into South Korea, disrupting power to 57,000 households, authorities have said. Typhoon Lingling struck the island of Jeju and southern part cities overnight on Friday, knocking out power and damaging buildings as it moved north at 49 kilometers per hour, the Ministry of Interior and Safety said in a statement on Saturday. In the central town of Dorian, a 75-year-old woman was killed after strong winds blew her off her feet and crashed her into a wall, the Interior and Safety Ministry said. A 39-year-old was killed in the western city of Incheon after being crushed by a collapsed wall at a hospital parking lot. The border town of Paju, a 61-year-old died after being hit by a blown-off roof tile. More than 250 flights have been cancelled at Seoul's Incheon International Airport and country's southern resort island of Jeju, according to airport authorities. The storm was expected to pass by the capital Seoul and reach North Korea later by Saturday. The center of the typhoon is expected to pass over the North Korean capital Pyongyang, according to a tracking map by the Korea Meteorological Administration posted on its website. Record-breaking winds will be seen at islands in southern and western coastal areas, the weather agency said. The North, which suffers from severe food shortages, was paying primary attention to the protection of crops and to prevent damage in dikes, dams and reservoirs. It said officials were also evacuating residents in areas vulnerable to flooding and deploying watchmen to minor bridges, buildings and houses. The impoverished and isolated country is vulnerable to natural disasters, especially floods, due in part to deforestation and poor infrastructure. At least 138 North Koreans were known to have died after torrential rain triggered major floods in 2016, the United Nations said at that time. More than 160 people were killed by a massive rainstorm in the summer of 2012. Typhoon Lingling knocked out the power of more than 127,000 homes across South Korea, including on the southern island of Jeju, which was lashed by the storm overnight, the Ministry of the Interior and Safety said. After hitting Jeju, the storm rained offshore as it moved up South Korea's west coast on Saturday morning before making landfall in North Korea in the afternoon. The South Korean government said at least 10 people were being treated for injuries, including an elderly couple from Boreong who were injured after steel scaffolding collapsed on their home. Lingling packed winds of 196 kilometers, that is 122 miles per hour at around 6:30 a.m. on South Korea's southern coast, making the typhoon the 5th strongest to hit the country since 1959. Residents in the North Korean capital of Pyongyang were seen using umbrellas to shield themselves from wind and rain while struggling to walk through wet streets. In South Korea, the storm toppled hundreds of trees and street lamps, blew signboards off buildings, and damaged traffic signs across the mainland and Jeju. More than 200 flights were grounded at airports nationwide, while 38 people were forced to evacuate from their flooded homes in Gwangju, a city near Seoul. 10 cars were damaged in the southern town of Namwon when a roof plate blew off an apartment building and crashed into a parking lot. Dorian makes landfall in Novia Scotia. Dorian has left the United States, but it's still causing trouble. The post-tropical cyclone made landfall near Sambro Creek in Nova Scotia, Canada at 7:15 p.m. Atlantic Standard Time on Saturday, the storm's estimated maximum sustained winds were 100 miles per hour when it made landfall 15 miles south of Halifax, according to the National Hurricane Center. Dorian is moving northeast at 30 miles per hour. The storm is still dangerous with maximum sustained winds equivalent to Category 2 hurricane. Hurricane warnings remain in effect for parts of Nova Scotia and Newfoundland, the center said. The Hurricane Center transitioned of the storm from a hurricane to a post-tropical cyclone early on Saturday. The loss of its hurricane status refers to the fact that it no longer has harm core, CNN meteorologist Jean Norman explained, but Dorian is still a low-pressure system. Novia Scotia Power said 348,880 customers had lost electricity across Novia Scotia, reporters CNN affiliate CBC. Most of the outages were caused by high winds that downed trees and heavy rain, something that's expected to continue through the night, CBC reported. Dorian's nearly 2-week path has unleashed devastation in the Bahamas, where it flattened homes and swept away neighborhoods, leaving at least 43 people dead. In the United States, several cities were cleaning up after it made landfall in Cape Hatteras, North Carolina, and brushed over East Coast states Friday. 5 deaths have been blamed and stormed so far. The storm made one final U.S. stop in southeastern Massachusetts on Saturday, unloading rain and tropical storm force winds. The main concern in New England was the high surf advisories for people along the coast as the storms move out, Shackelford said. Some areas can be seen 18 to 20 feet breaking waves, so even the strongest swimmers are warned to be cautious of high waves. Swimmers are also advised to be cautious of rip currents, which can rapidly pull swimmers out to deeper waters. Widespread regions of the East Coast can expect wind gusts up to 30 miles per hour throughout the Saturday, with some areas such as Nantucket potentially seeing winds gusts of between 58 miles per hour and 73 miles per hour. Floodwaters are receding on North Carolina's Orcade Island with Dorian hit, easing concerns for people stuck in their homes for most of the day. Since Thursday, Dorian has flooded parts of Carolinas and spawned several tornadoes, as well as lashed Virginia with winds and rain. Between 10 and 15 inches of rain fell in parts of North and South Carolina this week, the National Weather Service said. 10 vehicles buried under landslide debris in Uttarakhand, no one hurt. 10 parked vehicles were on Saturday buried under the debris of landslide, while road, eateries and shops were damaged by overflowing streams flowing heavy rains in Govind Ghat on the way to the Sikh shrine of Hemkund Sahib in Garhwal Himalayas. There was no casualty as the vehicles were parked and unoccupied, but the damage to roads, shops, dhabas and some homes were substantial, Chamoli district disaster management officials said. The national highway to Badrinath was also breached at a number of places by the gushing waters, he said. Bailey bridges are being built as an alternative on spots where the national highway has been washed away. The police and district administration teams are engaged in the rescue operations in Govind Ghat town, which is the main halt of the Hemkund Sahib. Power and water supply lines were hit by overflowing Guthma, Tugpani, Tamcha and Karuna streams. A major landslide that occurred due to incessant rainfall and cloudburst in Govind Ghat are severely disrupted the normal life here. After 170 mm rain in Paradip in 24 hours, rain in Odisha and Chhattisgarh to continue. Rains for the states of Odisha and Chhattisgarh have been heavy in the last couple of days, all thanks to the low pressure area which has been persisting for a quite while now. In fact, the last 24 hours from 8:30 a.m. on Friday, Paradip recorded a whooping 170 millimeters of rain, Angul 58 millimeters, Bhubaneswar 30 millimeters, Cuttack 26 millimeters, Kionjargarh 25 millimeters, Sundargarh 20 millimeters, Baripada 20 millimeters, Gopalpur 20 millimeters, Jagdalpur 26 millimeters and Koraput 17 millimeters. Now the low pressure area is over interior parts of Odisha and its associated cyclonic circulation is extending up to 7.6 km tilting southwards. Due to the presence of these systems, rains over both Odisha and Chhattisgarh will continue for the next 24 hours. Thereafter, as the system will move westwards, rains will see a significant reduction. Southern parts of Chhattisgarh, including Sukma, Narayanpur and Jagdalpur, will see heavy rains. Meanwhile, central parts of the state, including Rajgarh and Raipur, will see moderate showers. On the other hand, northern parts, which includes Ambikapur, will witness light rainfall only. Along with this, South Odisha, which includes Koraput, Malkangiri, will see heavy rains, while moderate rainfall activity is expected over Cuttack, Puri, Bhubaneswar. Thus, in a nutshell, rains are expected to occur over both Chhattisgarh as well as Odisha in next 24 hours. That's all for now. For more news updates, stay tuned with us. It's Tomorrow News, Nandini Hirani. If you like the video, please like, share and subscribe.